May 14, 2019, 9:47 a.m. A perfect Florida morning in Lakeside Estates, a quiet Orlando suburb where nothing bad ever happens. Birds singing. Sprinklers watering green lawns. Neighbors walking dogs. Then, the 911 call. A coworker concerned that Jennifer Martinez hasn't shown up for work in 3 days. Deputies arrive at 1247 Maple Grove Drive. The front door is locked. No signs of forced entry. No broken windows. The house looks peaceful from outside. But when Detective Sarah Chin peers through the living room window, she sees something that will haunt her for the rest of her career. A family of 4, all dead, parents and 2 children. Welcome to the worst crime scene Orlando has seen in a decade. Michael Martinez, 42 years old, senior accountant at a downtown firm. High school football star turned family man. Jennifer Martinez, 38 years old, elementary school teacher, beloved by students and parents. Their daughter Emma, 13, honor student and volleyball player. Their son Lucas, 10, obsessed with Lego and video games. The perfect American family. Church every Sunday. Barbecues in the backyard. Annual trips to Disney World. Neighbors describe them as the nicest people you'd ever meet. Nobody suspected anything was wrong. Not the coworkers. Not the neighbors. Not the extended family. Behind the closed door of 1247 Maple Grove Drive, something terrible happened. And nobody heard a sound. Subscribe now. This case will shock you. Hit that notification bell. Detective Chin calls for backup. Within 30 minutes, the house is surrounded by police vehicles, crime scene investigators, and the medical examiner. They enter carefully. The scene defies explanation. Michael Martinez lies in the master bedroom. 2 gunshot wounds. Jennifer Martinez in the hallway outside the children's rooms. 1 gunshot wound to the chest. Emma and Lucas in their bedrooms. Each shot once. The murder weapon, a 9mm Glock registered to Michael Martinez, lies on the master bedroom floor next to his body. No ransacking. No valuables taken. Dinner dishes still in the sink from 3 days ago. The house alarm was never triggered. The doors were locked from inside. This wasn't a home invasion. This was something much worse. Someone in this house killed the others. But who? And why? No signs of forced entry, Detective Chun announces to her team. Every door locked. Every window intact. The security system shows the last time someone opened the front door was Thursday evening at 6:43 p.m. when Jennifer came home from work. After that, nothing. The alarm was never armed that night, which was unusual. The Martinez family always armed their system before bed. Investigators check the garage. Both cars are there. Michael's briefcase sits by the door where he always left it. Jennifer's purse on the kitchen counter. Phones charging on the nightstands. Everything in its place. Everything normal. Except 4 people are dead and nobody broken. The killer didn't come from outside. The killer was already inside. The killer lived here. This is a family annihilation. Now they need to figure out which family member pulled the trigger. Medical examiner Dr. Robert Hayes estimates time of death. Thursday night between 10 p.m. and midnight. That means the Martinez family had been dead for 3 full days before anyone found them. The coworker who called 911 said Jennifer always texted if she'd be out. When Monday morning came and went with no word, she knew something was terribly wrong. Detectives pull phone records. Michael's last text was Thursday at 9:15 p.m., a message to his brother about weekend golf plans. Jennifer's last activity was a Facebook post Thursday evening showing Emma's volleyball trophy. The children's phones show activity until about 9:30 p.m. Then silence. At some point that night, someone picked up the Glock from the master bedroom closet and started shooting. But the order of deaths will determine everything. Who died first? Who died last? Who held the gun? The forensic team swabs everyone's hands for gunshot residue. GSR, microscopic particles that land on skin when a gun is fired. Within 48 hours, the results arrive. Michael Martinez, positive for gunshot residue on both hands. Expected, the gun was found near his body. Jennifer Martinez, negative. No residue. Emma Martinez, negative. Lucas Martinez, negative. This suggests Michael fired the weapon, but it doesn't prove he shot himself. Gunshot residue can transfer. Someone could have placed the gun in his hands post-mortem. Detectives need more. They examine the bullet trajectories, the angle of entry wounds, the blood spatter patterns. Each piece of evidence tells part of a story, but the full picture remains unclear. Was this a murder-suicide? If so, why would Michael Martinez kill his entire family? Co-workers say he seemed fine that week. No arguments. No financial problems. No affairs. What could drive a man to annihilate his own family? Investigators consult with Dr. Patricia Coleman, a forensic psychologist specializing in family annihilators. These cases follow patterns, Dr. Coleman explains. The perpetrator usually faces some catastrophic loss, financial ruin, affair exposed, terminal diagnosis. They see themselves as failures. Rather than face humiliation, they decide death is the only solution. But they can't leave the family behind to suffer, so they kill everyone first. It's a twisted form of mercy in their minds. She reviews Michael's background. Stable job, good health, no debts, no signs of depression, no history of violence. That's the terrifying part, Dr. Coleman says. Sometimes there are no warning signs. Sometimes it happens fast, a sudden break triggered by something we may never understand. She pauses. Or maybe we're looking at the wrong person. Maybe Michael wasn't the shooter at all. Detectives interview Jennifer's teaching colleagues. Something odd emerges. The week before her death, Jennifer seemed distracted. She forgot a parent-teacher conference on Tuesday, one colleague reports. That never happens. Jennifer was meticulous. Another teacher mentions Jennifer crying in the staff bathroom on Wednesday. I asked if she was okay. She said family stuff and changed the subject. On Thursday morning, the day of the murders, Jennifer called in sick. Unusual for someone who rarely missed work. But she was at school on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. She taught her classes, graded papers, led a book club after school. Then Thursday morning, she calls in sick. By Thursday night, she's dead. What happened in those final 24 hours? Did Jennifer know something terrible was coming? Or did she have a secret that got her entire family killed? Detectives execute a search warrant at Michael's accounting firm. His desk reveals nothing unusual. Client files, tax documents, family photos. Then an investigator checks the office computer's browser history. Deleted searches. Recently cleared. The IT department recovers them. The searches chill everyone in the room. How to delete internet history permanently. Stages of grief in children. Life insurance payout murder-suicide. Gunshot to head survival rate. All searched on Wednesday afternoon, the day before the murders. Michael Martinez was planning something. But investigators also find searches that don't fit a murder-suicide profile. Signs of mental illness. Bipolar disorder symptoms. When to hospitalize family member. Was Michael researching his own breakdown? Or was he researching someone else's mental state? The evidence points both ways. The question remains, who pulled the trigger? Dr. Hayes presents his autopsy findings. The sequence of deaths tells a story. Lucas died first, shot in his sleep, never woke up. Emma died second. Evidence suggests she heard something, got out of bed, was shot in her doorway. Jennifer died third, found in the hallway between the children's rooms, likely rushing to help Emma when she was shot. Michael died last, contact wound to the right temple, gun found in his right hand. The forensic evidence supports a murder-suicide. Father shoots children, mother intervenes. Father shoots mother, father shoots himself. It's a classic family annihilation pattern. But then Dr. Hayes adds something that changes everything. There's one anomaly, he says. Michael Martinez had high levels of sedatives in his blood, enough to impair motor function and judgment. Someone gave him sleeping pills, probably in his dinner, crushed up, mixed in. He was drugged before he died. The case just took a shocking turn. Keep watching to find out who drugged him. Investigators return to the house. In the kitchen trash, they find takeout containers from Thursday night. Chinese food from a local restaurant. They test the leftover food still in the refrigerator. No drugs. But they find Jennifer's prescription Ambien bottle in the master bathroom. 30 pills prescribed 2 weeks ago. Only 18 remain. She should have 28 left if taking one per night. 10 pills are missing. 10 pills crushed into Michael's food would explain his toxicology report. But why would Jennifer drug her husband? Unless she knew he was planning something terrible and tried to stop him. Or unless she needed him unconscious for something she was planning. The evidence is splitting into two narratives. Was Michael the killer who drugged himself for courage? Or was Jennifer the killer who drugged her husband to frame him? Detectives need more answers. They're running out of leads. Digital forensics examines Emma and Lucas's devices. Emma's text messages from Thursday afternoon reveal something disturbing. A conversation with her best friend. My parents have been fighting all week. Mom locked herself in the bathroom crying yesterday. Dad didn't come home until midnight. I'm scared something bad is going to happen. Her friend responded, Want to sleep over at my house? Emma replied, Mom won't let me leave. She says we need to stay together as a family tonight. That was Emma's last text, sent at 6:52 p.m. Thursday, 8 hours before she died. Emma knew something was wrong. She told her friend, but her mother insisted they stay home that night. Why? Was Jennifer protecting them from an outside threat? Or was Jennifer the threat and didn't want witnesses to escape? The investigation is tearing the Martinez family's memory apart. But the truth demands it. Police canvass the neighborhood again. Most neighbors heard nothing unusual Thursday night. The Martinez house sits on a corner lot with thick hedges providing privacy. But one neighbor, elderly Mrs. Patterson, who lives 2 houses down, remembers something. I was up late with insomnia. Around 11 p.m., I heard car doors slamming. Not from the Martinez house, from the street in front. I looked out my window, but didn't see anyone. She pauses. Then, maybe 5 minutes later, I heard what sounded like firecrackers. Pop, pop, pop. 4 or 5 pops. I thought kids were setting off fireworks. Those weren't fireworks. Those were gunshots. 4 shots. For family members. Mrs. Patterson heard the murders happening. But she also heard something else. Car doors before the shots. Was someone else there that night? Detectives obtained surveillance footage from homes with cameras on the surrounding streets. Most show nothing. Then they find it. A camera 3 houses down captures a dark-colored sedan driving slowly past the Martinez house at 10:47 p.m. Thursday night. The car stops, sits for 2 minutes, then drives away. 14 minutes later, the same car returns, parks on the street. Someone gets out too far from the camera to identify. The figure walks toward the Martinez house. 11 minutes pass. The figure returns to the car and drives away. Timestamp, 11:14 p.m. Right around when Mrs. Patterson heard the firecrackers. Someone was at the Martinez house that night. Someone who arrived, stayed 11 minutes, and left. Investigators enhanced the footage. The license plate is too blurry, but they can see one detail clearly. The figure walking back to the car is carrying something. Something the size of a handgun. Investigators subpoena financial records. They discover Michael Martinez purchased a $2 million life insurance policy 18 months ago, a standard for someone with his income and family. The beneficiary, Jennifer Martinez. But there's another policy, a smaller one, $500,000, that Michael took out 3 months ago. The beneficiary on this one, his brother, David Martinez. Investigators interview David. He claims he knew nothing about the policy. But phone records show Michael called David 17 times in the month before the murders. All calls lasting under 2 minutes. All calls made from Michael's office, where personal calls wouldn't be overheard. What were they discussing? David insists they were just planning the golf weekend. But 17 calls for a golf outing? Detectives aren't convinced. They're starting to suspect David knows more than he's saying. David Martinez agrees to another interview. Under pressure, his story shifts. Okay, fine. Michael called me about Jennifer. He thought she was having an affair. He hired a private investigator, but found nothing. He was paranoid, jealous. I told him he was being crazy. Detectives ask about the Thursday night text about golf. David's face changes. Michael sent that text at 9:15. But I was with him that night. He came to my apartment around 8 p.m. He was drunk, rambling about how Jennifer wanted a divorce, how she'd take everything, how he'd lose the kids. I let him crash on my couch. He left around 10:30. Detective's blood runs cold. David just gave Michael an alibi. If Michael was at David's apartment until 10:30 and the murders happened around 11 o'clock, Michael had barely enough time to drive home and shoot his family. But not enough time to have the emotional breakdown that usually precedes family annihilations. Unless David is lying. Investigators search the house one more time. In Jennifer's nightstand, tucked inside a cookbook she never used, they find a diary. The entries from the final weeks are devastating. April 12th, I think Michael is going to hurt us. April 20th, he's researching guns. I saw the browser history. April 28th, I need to protect Emma and Lucas. If I leave, he'll get custody and they won't be safe. May 10th, I told my therapist. She said I need to call police. But what if I'm wrong? What if I destroy our family over nothing? May 14th, tonight I'm going to confront him. I'm going to tell him I know. I'm taking the kids to my mother's tomorrow. This ends tonight. May 14th, the day of the murders. Jennifer confronted Michael about his violent plans. And hours later, everyone was dead. 8 months later, November 2019, the state of Florida versus David Martinez. Prosecutors charge David with 4 counts of first-degree murder. Their theory, Michael confided in his brother about wanting to kill his family. David drove to the house that Thursday night while Michael was still at David's apartment. David used Michael's key, he'd made a copy years ago, to enter the house. He found the family's gun, shot everyone, wiped his prints, placed the gun in Michael's hand, left through the back door. Motive, the $500,000 life insurance policy. David needed money. He was drowning in gambling debts investigators uncovered. Michael's death would eliminate the debt and pay $500,000. David's defense? He never left his apartment that night. No physical evidence ties him to the scene. The mystery vehicle on surveillance could have been anyone. This case will come down to circumstantial evidence and one shocking testimony. Day 12 of the trial. The prosecution calls their final witness, Sarah Chun, the lead detective. But it's the defense's cross-examination that changes everything. David's attorney asks Detective Chun to read from a supplemental forensics report completed 6 months after the original investigation. Chun reads, further analysis of the sedatives in Michael Martinez's system reveals an anomaly. The concentration and metabolization timeline suggests the pills were consumed in 2 doses, one at approximately 7 p.m., the second at approximately 10 p.m. 2 doses. That means someone gave Michael sleeping pills twice that night. Once at dinner, Once after he returned home from David's apartment, the defense attorney asks, "Detective, if David Martinez gave Michael those pills at his apartment, why would he give them again at the house?" Chin has no answer. The jury's faces change. Reasonable doubt creeps in. The public's perception shifts. Maybe David isn't guilty, after all. Maybe the truth is even darker. The jury deliberates for 9 days. They return deadlocked. Mistrial. The prosecution announces they won't retry the case. Not enough evidence. David Martinez walks free. The mystery of 1247 Maple Grove Drive remains unsolved. Did Michael Martinez kill his family in a paranoid rage? Did David kill them for insurance money? Or is there a third possibility no one considered? That Jennifer, desperate and terrified, gave Michael the sedatives, shot her children to save them from their father's imagined violence, then staged the scene to look like Michael was the killer before taking her own life? Forensic evidence supports each theory. None can be proven. The Martinez house sits empty now, a for sale sign swaying in the Florida breeze. Neighbors place flowers on the porch every May 14th. Emma and Lucas would be 20 and 17 now. Jennifer would be 44. Michael 48. Instead, they're buried together in Greenwood Cemetery, 4 headstones in a row, their story unfinished. The case remains open. Lakeside Estates tries to move forward. But every quiet morning, when the sprinklers water the lawns and the birds sing, residents remember the perfect family at 1247 Maple Grove Drive. And they remember that behind any closed door, in any quiet neighborhood, horror can hide. The truth died with the Martinez family. Justice never came. Some mysteries stay buried forever. That's the tragedy of the Martinez family massacre. Subscribe for more unsolved true crime cases. Comment, what do you think really happened that night? Who do you believe pulled the trigger? Thanks for watching this devastating story.